Hi, everyone. Welcome to our manifestation course. If you're new here, I'm Kerry, and literally, I'm going to be walking you through the entire steps, the entire frameworks behind what we call the powerful manifestation. But before we get into it, I just want to let you know that this is not magic. This is nothing but the laws of the universe. And I'm going to show you that there is some biblical context in this as well. So, let's get into Manifestation 101. Drum roll. So, these are our objectives. We're really going to be looking at what really manifestation is. We're going to be looking at identifying the different misconceptions that you probably have so that we can dismantle those. And of course, we're going to be looking at the scientific and the energetic principles behind manifestation. We're also going to be looking at the blocks that we may have within our mind, as well as how to reframe our system and train ourselves to manifest like a king or a queen, depending on your gender that's watching on the other side of the screen. Now, manifestation is literally the process of tongue twister. Manifestation is literally the process of turning your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs into a physical reality. And I'm going to give you one fundamental word here, and it's a favorite word of mine. It's called faith. I believe, in my opinion, I believe manifestation is all about faith. It's about understanding that when it comes on to the whole idea of manifestation, it's not about forcing things or begging or pleading that they become a reality. It's not even about trying to convince the universe or convince yourself, right? It's literally about matching the vibration of what you want. All right. So every desire, whether it's money, love, health, or an opportunity, it has a frequency. Everything that you can think of, it has a frequency attached to it. All right. And we're going to get into the deep or the depths of frequency in a minute. But I want you to understand that your job is not to chase that which you desire. Your job is to become the version of who you're aligning with. Who is that person you want to be, right? When your energy, your emotions, and your beliefs, they all line up with your desire, that's when it becomes a reality. All right? So manifestation is a powerful tool, but you have to become, all right? Now, one of my favorite things to say, and I got this from one of my favorite mentors, Mr. Golden, you've got to learn how to be. So you've got to become, right, the individual who can do the thing so that you can have the thing. I hope you're understanding me here. You've got to be the individual that God has designed you to be, walking in your purpose, walking in your potential at maximum levels so that you can do the things that you are meant to do, so that you can impact the lives that you're meant to impact, so that you can elevate the way how you're meant to elevate. But you've got to become first, right? And once you become the individual, then you're worthy of doing all the things that you need to do, which is the action base. And then, of course, the having becomes a reality. All right? A lot of us want to have, but we don't want to be. And you can't have if you don't want to be. Okay? So I want you to understand that there is sometimes what we call a little block and or a little mismatch when manifestation feels slow or it feels stuck or it feel like this is impossible. But I want you to remember, yeah, on this lesson that manifestation is alignment. It's alignment with your thoughts. It's alignment with your desires. It's alignment with your beliefs. It's alignment with your emotions that you feel, right? So your effort becomes a part of it, but you first have to align because you have to be the individual that you are praying to be, right? So I hope you got that. Now, here are some common misconceptions when it comes on to manifestation. And these are the top three, right? That I want you to really understand that manifestation is not really what you see on social media or the internet. I've simplified it in like three specific groups of misconceptions that I often see. And we want to dismantle that before we get further into the lesson. So, number one is all about, people believing that manifestation is magical or it's the science of all sorts of things. It's not magic. And you don't need to be gifted or special to manifest. It's a set of mental and energetic principles, I'd say, that falls under a process that anyone can learn. Right? And number two, we don't just wish, right? We're not wish dreamers. We're people who take action so that the dream becomes a reality. So don't wish for it because it's not gonna just appear just like that out of thin air, right? You can't wish without alignment because that's not gonna do anything for you. So manifestation requires emotional congruence, which means that your emotions and that state that you're in, everything, it has to align up with the future individual that you want to be. It has to be in alignment, right? So your belief, your inspired actions, all of that has to be in alignment. And number three, you can't force outcomes. I'm letting you know that. You're not forcing anything. It's not about forcing it, right? Because forcing it pushes it further away from you. And, this is something that I say to even my students in my trading group. I say to them all the time on our mentorship calls, the moment you chase the money, it runs. It runs from your trading account because we don't try to chase. You don't chase the opportunities. You don't chase it. You attract it by becoming the version of you who God has called you to be. Right? So you're aligning your internal state with the reality you are choosing. So if you're, in a place where you've tried manifesting and it probably never worked, and you thought that you were trying really hard, you were probably just obsessing over the outcome, you weren't manifesting, right? You were operating from lack, from fear, and from misalignment. And you see those three words? They're not good. And I'm gonna show you the spectrum in a minute, but you cannot operate from lack, fear, and misalignment because more of that will come in, right? More of that will come in. Whatever you focus on, what does it do? It grows. So if you're being fearful, fear is continually going to be driven into you. If you're operating at a place of lack, you're always going to be in that place. But if you flip the switch, then things start looking a little bit different. All right. So I want you to understand the real science and energy behind manifesting. Right? Manifestation isn't random at all. It's supported by both energy principles as well as psychological science. So I'm going to break it down into three key ideas, which are the laws that we do have. So number one is the law of vibration. Everything in the universe, it vibrates, including your thoughts and your emotions. That's why if you're feeling sad, it gives you that down feeling. But if you're feeling grateful, you're so hyped up, you're at the higher end of vibration, right? Your frequency broadcasts a signal and you attract experiences that match that signal. So you see, if you're in a place of lack, more lack is going to come into place. But if you're in a place of gratitude, God is going to send more things. The universe is going to send more things for you to be grateful of, right? So I'm saying it doesn't matter what situation you are in. I want you to wrap your mind around this, that you become what you think, right? I want you to really understand that high vibration gives you opportunities. It gives you clarity and it helps you to synchronize with that version of you who you truly want to become. If you're vibrating on the lower end with down emotions, down feelings, down thoughts, negativity, then of course that's going to give you resistance. And you're going to feel like every time you get to this level, you can't break through. You can't break through because it's tough. So I want you to understand that low vibration, it blocks the progress that you want. Scarcity mindset, it blocks the progress. And that's why you will feel like there's nothing happening. I'm so stagnant because you're at the low end of vibration. So we want to raise the bar today. We want to raise the bar so that you understand that vibration is your best friend. So be in a good spirit, be in a good emotional state, regardless of your circumstances. You know, I'm going to lead into the Bible here because I think this thing is biblical in so many different ways. When Job was being tested time and time and time again, you know, losing everything, what did he say? He said, in whatsoever state that I am in, what is he going to do? He's still going to give God thanks. That's gratitude. And if you just stop for a minute and stop thinking about the situation that you're in and just focus on being grateful, more things are going to fall on your lap to be grateful for, I promise you. Right? So I want you to be in an attitude of gratitude throughout this entire presentation, throughout this entire lesson, throughout this entire course. And I want you to understand who you are. Right? You're born a winner. So stop thinking like a loser. Now, I really want you to get into the whole aspect of these three key ideas. We've spoke about vibration. The next one is quantum principles. And, you know, it's all about physics, where in quantum physics, observation literally influences what becomes real, right? This means your focus, your attention, and your intention matter. You see that word focus? I said it a while ago. Whatever you focus on, it grows. So if you focus on lack, more lack will fall into play because you're giving that your attention. Right? So you need to be focusing on things that move the needle in your favor to the things that you desire. Become intentional about the things that you focus on. Where your awareness goes, energy flows. So become aware of the thoughts that are flowing here and keep them where you want them to be, because you can. You control this thing. Don't allow it to control you. Right? So this is why, you know, focusing on worst case scenarios often pulls difficult experiences in your life. And focusing on desired outcome strengthens that timeline. So just remain positive, even in whatever it is that you're in. It could be debt, it could be sickness, it could be anything. Be conscious of the thoughts that you produce and focus your energy where you want things to flow. Okay? Now, I want to tap on your subconscious programming because a lot of people don't understand that this thing in here, you've got your conscious mind and you've got your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind is greater than you think. Yeah? I know a lot of times things are in your conscious mind and you know that you're thinking of it. But you see in the subconscious, that's the part of you that runs 95% of your thoughts and behaviors. It filters your reality, right? So if you're conscious, if your subconscious believes, I'm not worthy, that's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to represent. If your subconscious believes that money is so hard to come by, or I don't have enough money in my bank account, right? Good things don't happen to me. I'm going to miss this month. You will unconsciously create situations that confirm those beliefs. So you're not manifesting what you want, you're manifesting what you believe. Because a lot of times we want things, but we don't believe that we already have it. And that's where the disconnect comes in. You want it, but you don't believe. Remember, the first part, the first two letters of believe is B. B, B-E. And remember, I said you've got to be, do, and then you have. So you see the whole belief system? It's about being and believing that you can be. Right? So I know it may be difficult for a lot of people to understand this, but watch this as many times as you have to. It really doesn't matter how many times, just lock in. And I'm going to explain to you why most people actually fail at manifesting and make sure you don't do these things. Or whenever you find yourself doing them, you switch the programming, right? So number one is going to be your inner conflicts. A lot of times people think that the battle is between them and other people out there who are trying to fight them down, but the battle is really between you and you. The battle is between self. You are your biggest enemy because of this mind that you have if you don't control it. All right? So inner conflicts where, you desire a thing, but a part of you feels like it's not safe or you're not worthy of it or you're not ready for it. This creates resistance in your life because the belief is not in alignment with the desire. So of course, a part of the brain will tell yourself that you don't deserve it. It's not yours, it don't belong to you. Have you ever seen anybody in your bloodline having more than enough? That's not a part of your DNA. That's what the inner conflict is going to sound like. And it's going to give you all sorts of negative reasoning as to why you can't or why you're not worthy or why you're not enough. But I want us to dismantle that today, right? Another one is the limiting beliefs that we hold. Beliefs like it's too hard. I can't do this. It will never work for me. I don't deserve it, right? All of this is going to block your desired energy. Low emotional baseline, which means that your frequency is so low on the emotional end. Because if your dominant feelings are fear, stress, frustration, or lack, your energy is out of alignment with what you want. So you have to focus on the higher end, which is gratitude, optimism, understanding that, listen, I've got love in me, so much love, right? So much faith. And understand that, listen, I'm at a place of high frequency, high vibration, so that I can get what I want, right? Acting from lack instead of alignment. When you want something because you feel empty without it, so you focus on the fact that it's missing. So you manifest more of the emptiness, more of the missingness, and more things feel like it's missing. So I want you to understand that you have to align, even when you don't see it. That's what alignment is. It's faith, believing that it will come. Right? So when you want something while you are already feeling whole, you become more magnetic. People fail not because they don't understand manifestation. They don't fail because they're thinking or dreaming too big. They fail because there is a disconnect with the belief system and with the whole idea of their desires. Right? So it's really the internal state that contradicts the reality that that individual wants, that you want. So you have to get them in alignment. Internal state must be one with what you desire. Okay? So understand this, like any other skill out there, manifestation is a skill. It's not random, it's not luck. It's not something that you go buy at the shop. It's not something that only certain people can understand. It's for everybody. but it's a skill and it's a life skill that's valuable because there's so much that manifestation can help you within your life. So I want you to understand that if you don't get it, you can practice it. You can get better at it. You can improve, you can master it. Just like any other skill there is. All right? The first time you prepared food, it may not have been good, but the more you cook, the better it became. It's a process. Okay? So I want you to understand that the more consistent you are, the more natural manifestation becomes. The main goal of this course is not just for you to understand manifestation, but it's really for you to really be in one and embody that individual that you truly desire to be. Right? So I want you to really understand that you can manifest anything that your heart desires. Now that you understand how manifestation works and why it don't work sometimes because of the different disconnects that are there, I want you to do this reflective task for me. There is a PDF attached at the bottom here to this lesson. I want you to click on it, go through it, answer the questions, and be honest with yourself. This is your season to elevate. This is your season to kind of lift the bars, because guess what? If you're here, it means that it's by no coincidence that God wants you to learn this. So be in alignment with the process. Be in alignment with your beliefs and your emotional states to what it is that you want. So energy will flow in the direction of what you desire. Right? And I want you to complete this worksheet and of course just reflect on all these questions that you're going to be answering, because this is about helping you. This is the new me era, right? That's the new you era, and it's time to raise the bars. So we're going to get into the next lesson, right? But be sure to do the task attached down below. And feel free, if you want to share it with me, you do have the opportunity. If not, that's perfectly fine. It's your personal stuff, but I want you to complete it, right? So with that said, our next lesson is all about, exploring the universal laws. That's the fundamental laws that kind of ties into manifestation. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.